folks, for many, many years on this YouTube channel, I've told you about short sellers, and I've told you about how they will literally do anything, literally anything to get people to sell out of positions. They will make up lies. They will do whatever it takes, essentially. They'll continue on message boards and just posting same negative stuff constantly over and over and over again, trying to do everything possible to get people to sell out of a stock because they're short and they obviously want to make money in that position. And what do we know what happens in the market most of the time? Most of the time the market goes up. And if you're short selling stocks, you also have to pay, obviously interest on that as well. So nonetheless, short sellers will do anything, and I've seen it time and time again. I watched this happen in Cirrus Logic many years ago, which was a stock I was in. I watched it happen in, obviously, Tesla stock was the biggest example of short sellers literally doing anything to try to get people to sell out of the position, essentially, right? Put out anything just to try to get people to sell, right? And I've watched like just so many lies made up from short sellers over time, so many fabrications and things like that. I didn't know I would ever be somebody that had stuff made up about them and fake news posted out there. But yes, that's even going on now, okay? Look at this. I found this baby on the Yahoo message board right now. It's like, oh, let me see TTCF. Let's see what people are talking about. Look at this. I'm afraid this talk of Jeremy selling is true. Confirmed it to us in his group this morning. Oh my gosh, you're going to be flipping my flapjacks. Are you kidding me? Okay. I think I would sell my Teslas before I sold Tattoo Chef stock. You got to be kidding me. But this is the type of stuff. And then they go out there and they thumb it up with basically you can create just a bunch of different accounts through Yahoo and just kind of like have them all logged in and just like thumb up the post or whatever. So it goes at the top. So if you go on like the message board, you're like, oh my gosh, Jeremy, he must have sold out of his shares. It's like, oh gosh, it's so sad and pathetic. It's so sad and pathetic, but that's what people like to do. And then it's like, oh, confirmed. It goes to like a YouTube video. You click on the YouTube video and it goes to like a Rickroll. And it's just like, that's the type of stuff you see out there. And it's just, they'll make up anything. Jeremy sold. Incredible. It's like literally they will do anything, literally anything to try to get people to sell out of a stock and cause panic and those sorts of things. It's just, at this point, it's just comical. It's just comical. It's sad, but it's comical. Shorts dominate this stock in this board. No, you don't. You don't dominate this board. You have a bunch of different accounts. It's like one or two people on a bunch of different accounts, and you just thumb it up on a bunch of different accounts. The long could do that as well and create like 600 different accounts and then just thumb down any post that's remotely negative about TTCF and just thumb up to the sky every post that's positive about it. It's like, that's a piece of cake. Like that literally could do it. You can make that change in a matter of minutes, right? So it's just so funny, and it's funny that they need to feel like they have to stoop to these lows and things like that. I shorted one stock. Okay, it was Peloton stock last year, and I don't usually short stocks because I don't like how it feels to bet on a company going down, right? But Peloton was an attractive short. I shorted the stock. I did one video about it. And you didn't catch me out there making up lies on message boards or making a bunch of videos about it. And sell your Peloton stock. I made one video about the short position. That was it. Even though I'm somebody of influence and could have easily, I'm sure, caused more panic or just brought up the negatives time and time again. I was like, it's not worth my time. It's not worth me trying to scare people out of that stock or anything like that. When that's all these folks do is they want to try to just fabricate lies, make up whatever, try to exaggerate things or whatever. Like literally whatever they can do to get people to try to sell is whatever they'll do essentially, right? And it's kind of sad. It's really pathetic, but that's what you got to understand. That's part of the short seller game in the situation. Now, why are the short sellers so desperate, specifically in regards to Tattoo Chef stock, TTCF? Well, first reason is you got to understand if you're trying to short Tattooed Chef, the interest you're paying on that is disgusting, like absolutely disgusting. Like try to short Tattooed Chef stock and get ready to pay through the nose just to try to short the stock. So that's first off, they're getting eaten alive by essentially all the interest they're having to pay. Okay, that's not the biggest factor. That's not even close to the biggest factor actually. Look at the stock chart over the past month. Okay, now if you look at the S&P 500 over the past month, if you look at the NASDAQ over the past month, if you look at most stocks over the past month, it's been something like this, something like this. And here's Tattooed Chef stock actually holding pretty respectably decent in a horrible market where it's filled with fear about inflation, the Fed, the Russia situation, all this stuff. And all this stuff's getting thrown at the market. And yet, Tattoo Chef stock, TTCF's actually holding very, very strong in this horrible market. It hit its 52-week low back, almost a month ago now. And here it is. It just continues to hold strong and hold strong. And so if you're a short seller, you're paying through the nose just to short this stock. And then you're basically, you can't get the stock to move down. Well, then come the tactics of let's try to just make up lies and try to, create fear and do whatever it takes to try to get people to sell out of that stock, right? And, it's not working. Like, it's not working. Like, this stock, even in this horrible market, and even if you make up all these lies and try to create a bunch of different fake, accounts on message boards or whatever to trash the stock, that literally is doing nothing. Like, literally nothing. The shorts thought the stock would be down massively, and here we have earnings coming up in a few weeks, and we'll see. That's all I'll say about that. Obviously, if the stock drops in any meaningful way, I'll be ready to buy, and I'm sure a lot of other longs are ready to buy as well, and probably already buying these shares actively. Meanwhile, most sellers have already left this market in mass, and so that's why you're not getting the stock to sell off, and that's why it's holding so strong in this awful market. This stock is holding incredibly strong, and it's because it's just like, who wants to sell this stock at the end of the day? Like, if anything, people want to buy it, and they could try to create one-day fear or something like that, but that's just a losing game, okay? Now, let's talk about facts, okay? Let's run through the TTCF fact sheet. We can run through that, okay? So TTCF, we know it's a huge revenue growth beast with years and years and years and years and years of revenue growth. Like, I don't even know the day Tattoo Chef stops growing, but it's nowhere in this decade. It's a huge revenue growth beast. They're in a massive growing sector that is a plant-based food space that just is going to grow incredible over the next several decades. We know they postponed their last quarterly numbers last minute. As soon as that happened, I knew that was going to be something the shorts were going to constantly bring up for years to go in the future. And they'll still be bringing that up years from now. Oh, remember the time Tattoo Chef, they postponed that quarterly numbers at the last minute? Yeah, remember that? They're going to be bringing that up in like 2025. They'll never let that one die. But that's something that happened, right? It was a bad look for the company. They ended up posting their quarterly numbers like a week or two later. But when that situation happened, that's just more fuel for the fire for the short sellers, that they just constantly are going to bring that up time and time again. And they'll bring it up for eternity, essentially. Remember then eventually it'll die down, but they're going to bring that up for a long time. The company's a money loser on the bottom line, which obviously is not something that's liked in this sort of market right now. We're in a market at the moment that doesn't like companies that lose money. I mean, gosh, there's even a lot of companies that make a ton of money that still aren't doing well. Look at PayPal, look at Square, look at Meta. There's a ton of companies that actually are money makers and don't trade at rich valuations at all. But those ones even got hit. Look at Corsair, which is a stock I personally own, CRSR. That one's only a few dollars away from its 52-week low. And Corsair's a huge money maker, But, at the end of the day, those stocks that are hated the worst in this market, let's put it that way, are money-losing companies. And Tattoo Chef is a money loser and should be in 22 as well, right? We know Tattoo Chef has massive store expansion going on. They've basically landed into almost every single major retailer you want to land into over the last 6 to 12 months. And they're getting in all those stores right now, and you're starting to see their products show up, right? Massive SKU expansion. This company, they enter a store with 2 to 6 SKUs usually, and next thing you know, all of a sudden it's 4 to 8 SKUs, and then 6 to 12 SKUs, and then 12 to 18 SKUs, and then 18 to 24 SKUs. I mean, I go into some of these Target stores now, and Target, Tattoo Chef wasn't even in Target a couple of years ago. And now I go into some of these Target stores, and there's so many SKUs that I can't even count them all. It's like, I don't even think I can count that high. Short sellers would make me believe I can't count that high. It's like, oh my gosh, it's a number over 20. I can't even count that high, okay? But it's ridiculous. And the SKU expansion is not slowing down anytime soon. And why is this not? Well, one, the company innovates and comes out with new products all the time. 2, the sell-through is ridiculous for Tattoo Chef. The sell-through is insane. Like, the product moves, and I'm talking about it really moves. And if you track this on any sort of metric, like, they move crazy. Target said the launch of Tattoo Chef was the best frozen food launch Target's ever had in its history. So when you have a company that moves product, and this is still such a young company, that's the best part. Like, Tattoo Chef brand isn't even like an established brand yet. I mean, imagine as this brand gets more and more well known over the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years. Imagine the SKUs are going to be moving at that time. here they are moving crazy SKUs. And so what ends up happening is stores just want to continue to take on more SKUs. And that's the way it is. If you move the product, they're going to give you more and more space, and they'll continue to kick out other ones that just aren't. There's a lot of frozen food items that just don't move for these other companies. And Tattoo Chef moves stupid volume. And so if you're, say, an executive at one of these companies that, you're in the frozen food department, you need products that move. And Tattoo Chef moves, and those products move huge. And so you're going to continue to take more and more SKUs. And you're like, oh, well, shoot, we started with 6 SKUs, but you're moving big volume. Can you give us 10? Can you give us 12? You're going to continue to take more, and that company just gets more and more shelf space. And next thing you know, all of a sudden they got a full freezer door, and then they got 2 full freezer doors, and it's I don't see that slowing down anytime soon. This is the real story for me when it comes to Tattoo Chef over the next several years. Let's put it that way. Okay, this is the fastest innovation I've ever seen from any food company in my life by a mile. I've never seen a company moving this fast ever, just flat out, when it comes to a food company. Like, no one moves this fast. It's ridiculous, right? The company has new product categories coming this year. We're not even talking about 3 years from now, 5 years from now, 7 years from now. I'm talking about this year we're in right now, 2022. They're talking about getting into nutritional bars. They're talking about getting into meal replacement bars. They're talking about getting into snack items. They're talking about getting into refrigerated like burritos and things like that, which I think are ingenious, or even frozen burritos, which, by the way, we've already seen the products on the Kroger website. Kroger made a mistake, and they accidentally posted images of what they look like. The product branding is ridiculously great. Like, it's so good, I can't even explain it. And so these new product categories are just, huge for this company, because then it becomes more than just a frozen food company. Then all of a sudden it's a frozen food company plus refrigerated products. It's a frozen food company plus refrigerated products plus snack products, right? Plus meal replacement bars. Like, the next thing you know, all of a sudden this is just a food giant, which is why I'm in this stock. I'm not in this stock just because I believe they're going to be a massive frozen food player. I'm in this company because I believe they're going to be an overall food giant. A company that has billions of dollars of market cap, tens of billions of dollars of market cap, becomes a real giant food player that has to be completely noticed out there. And when I see this management team and the type of moves they're making and how fast they've moved over the last 24 months, I don't see that slowing down anytime soon. If anything, I see it speeding up. They're at a pace that's just unparalleled in any food company ever. Like, there's never been somebody moving this fast in the food space. I can tell you that much. And I've been, in the stock market for 14 years, and I can't even think about one company that's anywhere close to them that's ever been a food company. It's them, and then it's like everybody else. Like, second place is so far behind, I can't even explain it, okay? International expansion is a huge opportunity for this company in 2023 and beyond. They've talked about that already, and how that's their obviously they got their hands full in North America, but they're hoping to start to get to that opportunity in 23 and beyond. And we know this is a massive margin expansion mode company for the next 5 years, where they basically started their business at the worst margins possible, and they're just going to continue to up their margins over the coming years. If you start a private label frozen food business, it doesn't get much worse from a margin standpoint than that. You want to get a little better than that, then start a branded company and have frozen food products, okay? You get a little bit better, but not that much better. Then if you want to get a little bit better than that, go ahead and start selling some refrigerated products. Then if you want to really get a lot better, start selling items that don't have to be refrigerated or frozen items, and that have good shelf life, such as meal replacement bars, nutritional bars, snack items. You want to talk about massive margins there, okay? So this company, when you just start going through the facts, there's bad stuff. Yeah, that postponement last quarter, oh gosh, that was so disappointing, right? Okay, once you get over that, it's a money loser on the bottom line. Yeah, it's also a revenue growth beast. And if you think this company is not going to be massively profitable in 3 years from now, you don't know much about business. That's all I'll say about that. I've been doing this for a long time, man. That's all I'll say about it. And when I run these numbers and I run these projections out for Tattooed Chef, I see this company getting to profitability within the next 24 months, and getting to mass profitability within the next 4 to 5 years. Mass profitability meaning like the numbers start to get so big that the company will not just be respected from a standpoint of an innovation company, a revenue growth company, but then also an EPS story and a net income story as well, which is the next kind of big vector for the company. So the shorts are just incredibly desperate. It's kind of almost comical to watch. From my standpoint, when it comes to Tattooed Chef, the more I've bought shares in this company, the more I've looked into it and gone down the rabbit hole with this company, the more I'm like, I could see myself buying the stock for years to go. To be completely honest, like I don't see. I'm trying to think like, do I see myself stopping buying shares? And I really don't. Right now at 11 something dollars, like, it's like, it's a joke price. If the stock goes down in any meaningful way this year on earnings or because the market goes down or anything like that, I'll be a happy buyer of the stock. I think the next year I'll probably still be a happy buyer of the stock. There's a few stocks in the stock market right now that I look at and I'm like, I can see myself buying that stock for not just months to go in the future, but potentially years to go in the future. Honest is one of those companies, and HNST, that one's like $5 a share. That's a stock I see myself buying for potentially years to go in the future. Tattooed Chef is one of those stocks. PayPal is actually a stock that is reached such levels now that I'm thinking about buying that one for years to go in the future. The Planet's another one of those rare opportunities that I feel like that's a stock I could buy for years to go in the future and just continue to add more and more shares, throw it in the filing cabinet, increase my ownership position more and more and more. And as those companies thrive over the next 3, 5, 7 years, obviously my shares will thrive as well. If the companies were to do really bad financially, my shares won't thrive, right? But I've been doing this for a while, so I'm pretty decent at picking companies that are going to have revenue trend upward over the coming years, and that net income will follow. And when revenue and net income follow certain ways, those stocks are rewarded, right? And that's exactly what I see playing out here. And so, when it comes to the shorts, in some of these stocks, man, you got to understand when you got these type of revenue growth opportunities and these type of game-changing companies, you're going to have relentless buyers, not just over the coming weeks and months. You're going to have relentless buyers over the coming years. And it doesn't matter if the stock market crashes, it goes down more, or we go into a multi-year bear market. It doesn't matter. Regardless, we're going to keep buying. We're going to keep buying. We're going to keep buying. We're going to keep increasing our ownership. And it's going to be harder and harder and harder to send the shares down in these stocks because, we just get such relentless buyers in there that we're not going anywhere. So anyways, guys, hope you enjoyed this as always. Shorts, never be surprised by anything they do out there. That's part of the game. It's kind of sad, but it is what it is. So anyways, guys, much love as always. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed to the channel. And if you want to basically sign up for our email daily newsletter for Hungry Bull, keep up with everything that's going on in the stock market, crypto market, not getting into politics or anything like that, but business news in general. Check out pinned comment down there. Much love and have a great day.